I'm live. I don't know what happened the last time, but I'm back. Here we go. Better internet connection. And let's talk about the housing market because a lot of you are still referring back to 2008, where we had an amazing crash that destroyed our economy. It was called the Great Recession, just in case you missed it. Now, we keep on comparing the current housing market and saying, hey, look, it's very similar to that, and we're heading into that exact same thing. And what I want to share with you is the exact opposite. There is no crash as of what we can take a look at right now. And a lot of what we're seeing is based on emotion and wishes that there were a crash because prices are just so unaffordable for a lot of people. Now, as I dig into this, pay attention to it because this is where we are right now. Will it change? I don't know. Can it change? Of course it can change. But I don't want you to predict way into the future and think that there's a crash when there's nothing there right now. And that's what I want you to pay attention to because there are lots of people on one side saying there's going to be a crash. And then there are the other people who are saying that there are no crashes happening, right? Now, housing is still pretty good, still pretty healthy, heading into a neutral market. So let's just jump right into this one. I've got a great article for you by Fortune Magazine. They do a pretty decent job. And let me just zoom out. This one's called, let me zoom to the top. It's called What the Housing Market Correction Will Do to Home Prices in 2023. Man, first of all, that's like way into the future, right? Like, how do we even know what's going to happen when people just a few months ago were predicting that rates wouldn't go up past 5%? So that's number one. But anyway, as we dig into this, let's go into the highlighted areas. What does the housing correction mean for U.S. home prices? To find out, Fortune examined revised housing forecasts. Yes, they keep on revising them. It's going to continue to happen. We get new data, things get revised, but published by Capital Economics, Mortgage Bankers Association, Fannie Mae, CoreLogic, Moody's Analytics, and Zillow. And we can take a look. Let's start with the optimistic crowd. I laughed when I read that. That's kind of cute there. But let's start with the optimistic crowd, and you know which one that is. It's Zillow. Here's a little graph that they put together for Zillow. Zillow thinks we're going to end the year here, a 12-month span from May 2022 to May 2023 with a 10% up on home prices. Here it is. Between May 2022, May 2023, Zillow predicts U.S. home prices will jump another 10%, right, 9.7%. Now, just 4 months ago, and this they're also saying, hey, Zillow, chill out, because just 4 months ago, Zillow was predicting year-over-year home price growth would hit almost 18%, right? And so obviously they're getting new data, they're adjusting. I still think they're high, like 10%. That's kind of nutty. Zillow slashed its price growth outlook by 8.1 percentage points. The reason? The U.S. housing market is slowing fast. It's going into more of a normal market. That's what I wanted to show you. Now, Zillow is clearly the only housing bull left. Yeah, everybody else is saying, hey, it's either going to crash or we're heading into something more normal. Right, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Over the coming year, CoreLogic predicts U.S. home prices will rise 5.6%. In 2023, the MBA, that's what most people know them as, Mortgage Bankers Association, and Fannie Mae forecast U.S. home prices growth of 3.1 to 3.2, respectively. So now we're looking at price ranges that is more of a normal market. And if you remember, and I'm going to just show you this just in case you don't remember, because a lot of you seem to have really short-term memory. All right, I'm going to just go right into this. This is where Powell, just 2 weeks ago, maybe like 2.5 weeks ago or 3, just said, hey, look, prices may still go up. And I played this earlier. So here it is. Pay attention. Quiet down everything.
The supply of finished homes, the inventory of finished homes that are for sale is incredibly low, historically low, so that it's still a very tight market. So prices may keep going up for a while, even in a world where rates are up.
Yeah, did you hear that? Do you understand? He understands what's going on, even though a lot of people are saying, hey, they put us in this mess in the first place, right? But think about this, because that's what we're looking at. When I take a look at the data, And that's what I'm going to show you right now, the data. One of our friends, Mike, who, by the way, you need to follow on Twitter. He runs Altos Research. This is a stat that came out, 6 hours ago? He updates us every week. And this, if you look at it carefully, is where prices are at, the little red line, median home prices and median price of new listings. So the median price of new listings has gone down a little bit, so the listing prices have gone slightly down. But look at median home prices, right? 455,000, they're still going up. Do you see that? When everybody else is telling you otherwise, pay attention to the actual data so you can stop with your emotions and understand, hey, you know what? It's not what crazy people are talking about, right? Because look at this. Now you take a look at real data and you see here, there are price reductions that are happening fast. Why? Because a lot of these people, these sellers that had priced their homes were anticipating and saying, hey, of course we can get higher than what my neighbor just sold their home for. But what they're realizing is, no, that's not true. The market is now, the real estate market is becoming more neutral. That means that I have to sell my home for the price that one over there across the street sold for. And now a lot of these price cuts are happening faster and faster. If we take a look at Boise, Idaho, where a lot of people are saying, hey, that's where the market's going to crash first, or Austin, Texas. Now we're seeing the national average of price reductions is 30%. Look at Boise. I'm going to zoom in right here, right? And this is Boise. This is, again, Altos Research as of today. Price decreased 44%. So above the national average. Now you start seeing real data as to what's actually happening, right? You start fully understanding, oh, I understand what's happening. And that's what I want to show you, because now we're going to dig back into this article. Now it starts making a little bit more sense, but trust me, it gets better. Because now U.S. home price growth, this right here is Capital Economics. They think, I'm just going to read it to you. Over the coming year, Capital Economics predicts home prices will fall 5%. Historically speaking, that's a bold prediction. Year over year, home price declines are incredibly rare. They have only happened twice, see below, over the past half century, which we'll get into. Now, this is important because mortgage rates are rising and will reach 6.5% by mid-2023. As a result, mortgage payments as a share of income will exceed the peak seen in the mid-2000s. Now, that's world economics. That's what they're saying. But look, we hear this from experts all the time, because now I'm going to go over here and show you other experts. This is Fox News. Look what Fox News said. Fox News. That was a fun slip. Fox News said just in February, they said it looks unlikely that rates will hit 4% this year. Yeah, that was in February. But it's within the realm of possibility, as we are now squared in the 3%, right? Pay attention. So what does that tell you? Again, I'm going to go back to it. It just shows that really all of these experts don't know what the hell's going to happen. We don't know. That's why I go back to these stats by Mike and Altos and just show you and say, hey, let's look at the actual data here and stop pretending we know what's actually going to happen, right? Because we don't know what unemployment will look like. We don't know what the interest rate's going to look like. In 2023, mid-2023, come on. It's ridiculous. Now take a look at Moody's. Mark Zandi, we quote him a lot. Over the coming year, Moody's Analytics predicts U.S. home prices will jump 0%. It'll just be even, they said. However, Zandi says significantly overvalued housing markets like Boise, which I just showed you, and Phoenix, should see house prices fall by 5 to 10%. But that prediction assumes no recession. No recession. In a recession, if a recession hits, check out what Moody's says, okay? If a recession hits, Moody's Analytics predicts a 5% decline in national home prices and 15 to 20% decline in significantly overvalued regions or regional housing markets. Now I'm going to show you something that I think people forget about. Let's take a look at the recession, specifically the last what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2020, home prices went up 6%. 2008, the fundamentals of lending were off the rails. So, of course, 19% decline. There are no fundamentals in the mortgage world broken right now. 6.6% up 2001, 1991, a little drop, 81, and 1980, right? Stephen, the GDP numbers come out this week. So we should have those. And then they'll determine, okay, were we in a recession? But does it matter here? Look, pay attention to the numbers because it comes down to one thing. You take a look at the stats of everything. Let's go back to Mike's. Let's go take a look at, I'm going to show you something that Mike came up with earlier where we go to the stats. Take a look at total inventory for actual homes for sale, not new construction. Look at July 2015, 1,180,000, right? Look at where we're at with supply, 475,000. It's grown by 7%, right? But look at where we're at. Do you see that this is a supply issue? Because we're still looking at what happens if we get into a recession? How does that affect unemployment? There's so many ifs here. I just want you to pay attention to what's actually happening now so you understand, right? Now let's go back to that article. So this is what they say. And you know what? No, I don't agree with them because I don't know what the hell's going to happen. That's a bold prediction. Let's go into this, though. That's the historical U.S. home price growth. So you can take a look at nominal home price growth versus real one, right? You want to take a look at always real, but in this case, it's very similar. And I'll put up this link on YouTube. And you know what? Let me just go to my YouTube channel just so I can show you where it is because a lot of you can't find it in the description. And I'm going to show you exactly where to go on the channel. I'm going to just pause this one so you can see it. Let's just click on this one, for example, and pause it. You see, let me go back to this one. A lot of you can't seem to find where the description is of any video. Let's just pick a random one that I've already done. Let's do the farming one, pause, and you can see here where it says show more. You click on it and it gives you all the links. Those are where all the links are. All right, so that way you don't get lost. Let's stop with that one. Let's go back over here. Now, I'm going to keep on going. It says, the past does not repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Now, if you're watching this, tell me who said that or who the quote is attributed to for brownie points. Anybody out there? I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Who said that? Come on. Mark Twain. Mark Twain said that. The past does not repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Everybody knows Mark Twain. I thought that was an amazing one. Here is where we pay attention to what most likely will happen, right? I don't remember this. I was born in the late 70s. As baby boomers aged into home ownership, the 1970s U.S. housing market went into overdrive. Pay attention, everyone, because this is what you've been waiting for. It's not 2008. Pay attention to this. Throughout the decade, builders put up as many suburban homes as they could muster. It wasn't enough. Why? It's the same situation we have now. The demand is too much right now, right? By the end of the 1970s, the supply and demand mismatch had sent U.S. home prices up staggering 167%. That period, of course, saw something we're seeing once again today. An inflationary wave. Yes, exactly. By the early 1980s, the Federal Reserve had tamed the inflation beast through higher interest rates, those spiked mortgage rates, which topped out at 18% in 1981. And if that happens again, we would all be destroyed because the prices don't match. Home prices don't match what they were in the 1980s. Much different world. This is why I love this. The past does not repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Okay? Pay attention to the nuances. All right, so we go back. Pushed the housing market into a brief year-over-year nominal home price decline in 1982. However, it wasn't a housing crash. Instead, the housing market was able to return to a balanced market by the mid-1980s following several years of strong income growth. And that, my friends, is what we're looking at right now. Not a crash, simply a slight downturn in some areas. Real estate's going to continue to be regional because if I show you Miami and I show you Boise, Idaho, there are two different worlds, right? One has increasing demand where prices are still going through the roof, and we're not even bringing in half of the things that are happening around the world. So for now, I want you to keep on paying attention to the details. I want you to pay attention to the data. There is no housing crash as of right now. Can that change? Of course, anything can happen. But don't freak out, because I hate seeing people sell millions and millions of dollars of portfolios in their investments and say, hey, the world's going to crash. I'm going to cash in a year. So there's also those crazy people. So for now, pay attention to everything. Reach out to me with any questions. Be happy to answer them. And I'm going to put all of these links in the YouTube channel so you can watch it and you can have your opinions. But I love going back and forth. So let me know what you think. You can call me crazy. You can call me Tristan. Call me anything you want. I don't care. I do read the comments though. So have a good night, everybody.